Hi, thanks for watching. This is Berwick upon Tweed, and our group decided that it was worth a closer look. So we rented a house for a week. Unfortunately, Alan had health problems and Stuart had work commitments, and Jackie, well, she'd not long moved house, so she was kind of busy. But the rest has made it, and we rented a house right here. Right. There you go. There's the house. Now, even the owner said to me that he believed that this was all the one property. Similar to this whole block here being one property. And I quite agree with him. And next door, I'll take an educated guess, and I'll suggest that at some stage in the past, this door was a window. And they've added another door for access, probably to upstairs. Or maybe they found the basement. I don't know. So let me give you the $2 tour. Right, they say it's a Georgian Grade 2 listed family townhouse. I'll get back to that. Right. This is the large, spacious living room that we never used once. And there are 5 bedrooms. And this is where we spent most of our time. We even had our meals there. And I take this opportunity to thank Sandy, Kathy, Lynn and Julie, and also Kath, who's yet to arrive, because Ellen here was quite happy to spend time in their company and let me go out and have some time to myself, so that enabled me to do the walkabouts. Right. And this is the door through the small patio for anybody that feels like a smoke. Right, so let's get back to this, what they say about the house itself. Right, so they say it's Grade 2 listed. Now I asked why it was listed, and the owner told me it was not the property that was listed, but there was 2 19th century apparently, or 18th century built-in wardrobes. Right, now we had one in my room, and it's just, I forgot to take photos of it, but it was just a plain, simple wooden wardrobe. And I don't think the guy that owns the place is thinking much about preservation, because it's just a couple of coats of eggshell to go with the decor. So, right, another thing, the family townhouse. Now, consider this was the whole one building, right? And the word family, maybe that's getting used because the strange thing about this house we were in, every room had a nameplate on the door. So, was each family crushed into one room? I don't know. Right, and we saying it was Georgian, they're saying obviously it was built during the Georgian period. Right. So, where are we? Right, so we're told that the Georgian period was from 1714 to 1830, and somewhere along the middle of this period, that's when these wardrobes were built, right? And I mean, if a guy had gave it a couple of coats of clear varnish, I can see that being called preservation maybe, but to get 2 coats of eggshell, not so much. Right, and when I go in my walkabouts, I'll go up this path here, and I'll walk along these ramparts at the top, along to here, and I'll come down to the lower level, and I'll walk down to here, and then I've got other bits and pieces of video where I've walked about the town. So, let's start it. We're all suspicious of dates and architecture, and a lot of the historical lies were told. And the Georgian period spanned from 1714 to 1830. Right, so that gives them a lot of wiggle room for architecture. So this is a Elizabethan map, apparently, from 1564. And the first thing you notice, we don't get a better image, right? And the first thing you notice is this is man-made waterways. And it's not a mean feat. And this is a bridge as well. And I'm guessing there'll be a locking system or something, just like here. Because right now, this is the car park. Right, and they call it an Elizabethan walled town because whatever reason the Starfort design kind of ends here, and then they've got this massive wall that goes round the town, and down here they call this the castle, I think, and it's actually part of the Starfort, and I'll show you that later. What else? Windmills. When you see windmills, don't think flower, think power, because I think they were part of the energy grid. And up here there's a church, and right now there's a large church in the same spot. So that's always been like hallowed ground, or I don't know. Don't touch, don't dig. That's what graveyards are like. Right, and here's the town hall back then. It's the same spot right now. And they've got small structures either side of it where it looks like a spire. What else? Aye, so 1714. Well, this is 15. What was the date? 1564. And it's already a row of townhouses right down here, and that's where we were living for a week. Right, so let's go on there. So this was where that man-made waterway was, and then it comes round here, and it also went round there. Right, so where I'll be going first of all is I'll be going up this lane, and I'll take a walk down here, then I'll walk up backwards up to here, and right to this corner, then I'll go down lower and show you a slideshow. The walls, the ground level, and I'll go a walk about town and pick out some points of interest. Right, so we'll start a journey here. And I'm going to go up this path, and there's the house It's less than 50 yards away. That was one of the reasons it was chosen. So let's go up here. So apparently there's been a path here for over 500 years. So, I don't know. And who built the walls? I have no idea. Right, and I guess that this area is protected. Like bylaws, they gave them a place to grow their food, and it'll be protected. That's why there's nothing growing here. And I don't know what this is. We'll have a look for it. So I'm standing here with the camera, and I can see this structure here. But you can see there's actually two of them. So where they go, I have no idea. But there's definitely two of them. And now I'll stay on top of the ramparts and I'll walk down here, up to here, then up to here, and I'll then point the camera back here, then down here. Right. And I do think that anybody that's came into possession of this piece of real estate will have modified it, like these gun emplacements. At one time it could have been cannons, and another time it could be anti-aircraft weight, I don't know. And this thing here, I think they were for fire signals or something. So it's been changed a lot, and stuff's been added to it. It's immense in the size it is. And this is what I'm saying about modifications. And this is the area where there was no water. Right, and well, that was full of water. And this is over 400 yards away, the corner to corner. But I'd love to have seen it when it was first built. And in here is where that waterway was, out here, and it came in here as well. So let's go down to the lower level. I'll just go the quick way and just slide down. There you go. There you go. And that's where I was a minute ago. And this is the part where there was no water, and this is like a barrier. There was no water on this side, but there was water on the other side. And this is kind of confirmation that there was no water on this side. Right, and that's that barrier to this side here, and this was full of water. Right, so I'll now show you a slideshow of pictures I've took, because you can get a lot more detail looking at them. This is a stairway that's been built to take you down to the lower level, and there's a date on it. So are they taking credit for the stairs, or are they trying to take credit for the entire structure? And they try to tell us this is another feat of engineering that was done in the 19th century, along with everything else. Right. The plasterwork's falling off anyway. Right. So you'll see what I'm telling you about different people of different times have been altering things and changing things, because a lot of it don't make any sense. We've got all these, I don't know, doorways, entrances, arches, for what reason, don't know. Like this, different brickwork, and I don't know where that goes. And is this the fireplace? That makes a lot of sense, right? So I'll show you where I'm going with this. This picture you're looking at, I'm standing right here at this corner, because like I said earlier, this is the part where the Starfort shape just stops, right? And this is where the Elizabethan wall is, right? Now, there's a house up here, and I'm trying to make my mind up whether the house was there before the wall, or the wall was there before the house. And I'll show you what I mean. Right. So there's the house here, right? And this is the roof. And that's the corner I was at a minute ago. And this is the house here. What's that about? So why would you build a house at an angle away from this wall, or? I don't understand that. Right. It just looks nuts. So, like I say, there's different cultures at different times have left their mark. And that was the armoury in here. It could have very well been a church for the shape of it. Right. And that was the allotments. And that's where that pathway came up. And this is the armoury here. Gunpowder for the garrison. And they say this was built in 1750. Okay. Right. So there's like different kinds of stone. Like this looks really weathered. Yet this looks untouched. And so at what time, what's the time difference between these walls being put up? And there's what I'm talking about, with arches and doorways and fireplaces and all sorts of stuff. And I don't think they were part of the original structure, obviously. And there's more here. So I think there's been lots of changes being made. I'd like to see what's inside it, but never will. And this is where the stairway is it? No, I think that's up in the other corner. See, I don't know when the grill was put on, for what reason. Because this is the part where there's no water. And they try and tell you they were for like, gun emplacements or something. This is a Freemasonic Temple, and I'll have a good look at that later on. And apparently this is a typical design across the country. When you see one of these benches, although you may not see the tail or the head, this is what they're designed on. Right. In this image you've got, well, 3 different kinds of stonework. Because this here is different to this, and both of them are different to that. So, did the plaster just fall off of the whole thing? No. Again, this is more weathered. And I have no idea what that is in there. Not a fireplace. I don't know what this path is, how far back this goes in time. A lot of the stonework is really, really weathered. And it's strange that the stuff below is not as weathered as the stuff above. I don't know. Right. So they say these were gun emplacements, and the only thing they point at is the same thing up here, but they just shoot each other. But there again, this had water in it, so whether that's significant, I don't know. Again, there's additional stonework that's still the same. So, I don't know what the original place looked like. I mean, these could be for water. And I'll show you, this is the same design, the exact same as what they've got down at what they call the castle, down next to the river. So if this was for water, where did it come from? Is this been backed up? By who? When? There's all these wee doorways and stuff. I think they're all additions. I've been in there. Right, and this is the gate to take you through. Again, different stonework. And this takes you through the wall, or under it. And I think that was for like a portcullis to shut down, close off the gate, in case the big doors don't work. And Berwick fortification, cowport. The Elizabethan ramparts were built in 1576, replacing the medieval. So what they're saying here is it already was like a cattle place, and then they made it up. Bullshit. Right. And this is the gate here. Right. So I found some really incredible stuff. I mean, this just, I don't know, you have a hard time trying to work out what came first with this place. But there's a few weird things like this. Now, I don't know what this hole was for, but I don't believe this is the part with the water. And it was suggested that this could be a high water level mark and a low, but I don't think so because there was no water in this bit. So I don't think that's right. That's a bit weird. As soon as I saw it, I thought of Peru. And that's it there. And there's a row of stone the same. And there's another corner. So, is that an entrance, exit, doorway? I don't know. Right, and then I don't know why this hole's here either. Just this is the barrier between the dry area and the area with water, and this looks as if something could slide it like a door or something, but I don't know where the other end went. It's just a hole in the corner. But there was other stuff. And this is the barrier. The stairs are here. And it's dry and it's wet. Right, there's a better view of that. This is the car park where the water was. And this is the stairs where there was none. That's another view of the same thing, which is now up here. Right, then there was this. Right, I have no idea what this is for, but I'll get a closer look at it. And I don't know how deep that goes in. Or how high it goes up. Or what it was for. Right. And like I say, on the one side of the structure, these could be used for war. But they certainly were not used for cannons. And then I found this. This is amazing. Right, this is inside, just a close up. I managed to get, right, even before I used the flash on the camera, these things were like glowing. It was unbelievable. Like you could look, this is with the camera with the flash, and I don't know where it is. But this looks like, is that heat that's caused that? I don't know what these things, and they're about maybe 5 feet in the front. So what is that? It looks like something melting. Definitely. Yeah. And that's a shadow. So that was weird. Right, and right next to it there's like a manhole cover. Nothing in there either. It's another wee hole, but this does look like it was for water. I don't know about that, not sure. And the same with them. And this is the level the water was at, I'd imagine. Right, so, and that's just in behind there. So this is like in the middle of the wall, you know, like going through the rampart. So I don't know what's inside there. It could be a load of tunnels, we'll never know. And again, they're telling you it was a cattle market. And this one was for 1886. That's a year after they built that stairway. Right, and this is the main road. And that's the end of the tour of the walls. Here's the Freemasonic Temple. Right, now, the first thing I noticed was these, right? Now obviously there should be something on this plinth. And there's this like a hood for the top. And as soon as I seen it, the first thing I thought about was like a niche on a cathedral or a church. Like this. And they always fill them with saints and popes and stuff. Right. Oh. Here's two that I just thought of. This is Robert the Bruce and William Wallace. This is Edinburgh Castle. And like I said earlier, I think a lot of historical characters could be fictitious. Like these two. Right. So, I'm wondering what they represent. Because of all this symbolism and stuff. And all these people love their secrets. And they love to stick it in your face. And I wonder what they represented. And I thought about this a while back. Years ago. And here's what I came up with. They can step in one place and step in another one someplace else. Just like that. And that's what happens when you've got a fertile imagination. So let's have a close look at some of these. Right, so one of the things about this temple, this is up the side of it. That other image was taken for the front. And this is continuous. This line, right? This is it here. And one side of it is the head of is it a serpent or a dragon? I don't know. And then this is just above that. And here's the other end. That's like a tail. So I don't know what that's for. And this is the very top at the front. And that's below it. And here's the stained glass. So there's the Freemasonic Temple. And it's above the glass at the front. And this is the red brick building next door. And this is on the side of the temple. 1873. Right. This is just a local hotel with a basement. Right. The house we lived in was on a hill. And this house was at the top of the hill, and with a bit of imagination, this could be, you put a tower on it and you make it a church. I'll show you why I'm saying that. Because if you look down this left hand side here, this is what's there. Right, it's just a plain wall. And along the front, we've got the basement and the moat. And on the other side, we've got this. So, why is this only on one side? And this is next door. And I've seen bricked up windows everywhere, but this is the whole building, pretty much. Apart from that one there. And I'll show you another look at this window here. So how old is that? Does that room still get used? I don't know. And the plasterwork's fallen off the old brickwork. The last time it was coated. Right. Right, so I stopped there with the walkabout, and then I made my way down to here. I'll show you that. Right. It's not going to open up. Yeah, don't matter. I'll be in this area here. Right. In this garden. It's a B&B. And this is the house here. And this is the Elizabethan wall. And I forgot to ask, what the hell are they for? Slipped my mind. So this is the Elizabethan wall. So like I say, there's additions everywhere. There's all different kinds of stonework, brickwork getting used all over the place. I don't know what that was for. No idea. Right, so this is this Elizabethan wall. And this is up the side of the house, behind the house. And this is the railway bridge. And I asked her about the house, because she came to the door. And I asked her about the house, and she said that, I asked her if she had a basement, and she said that, no, they don't have a basement. I said, are you sure? And she said, oh yeah, this house was built on rubble. I said, excuse me? She said, it was built on rubble. I went, how does that work then? And she says it was a rubble from when they built the railway bridge. They just flattened it out and built the house in Falpate. And I thought, okay. But I wasn't buying it. And this is a well. I don't know when it was last used, but it's got a name. We'll find out a name in a minute. So there's the railway bridge. This is a view for that garden. And she maintains, this is the Elizabethan wall, and she maintains that the house is built on rubble. Well, I'll tell you what, I've seen tenements being flattened and then they put up houses in the same spot. So there could be something to it, I don't know. So the next bit of Elizabethan wall was along here, the river. Now, it's the only part, as you can see, where Google Earth don't let you go, apart from this image for here. And the first thing you look at is you see this, and you wonder what's through there. And normally you just have to wonder. Well, no, this time I'll show you what's in there. Right, so I'll build the bridge in a minute, but first we'll take a wee look at the hole in the wall. Right. And I was shocked when I looked in here. And this here has got to be one of the coolest houses in Berwick upon Tweed. It's built inside the Elizabethan wall. And I was wondering, because as soon as I seen it, and I knew it was inside the wall, and I thought, oh, I'd love to go inside and see how big it is, just to see how far back it goes. Because my first thoughts were, I'll show you what I first thought about. This is opal mines in Australia, and they're awesome. These are just literally dug out. You can make them any size you like. They're stable. And this is just like a giant cave. Like if his wife gets pregnant, well, just make another bedroom. Well, there's a niche. That must be the chapel. But that's inside, just... I'm awestruck when I first seen these. I couldn't believe it. It's a restaurant, for Christ's sake. Well, that's what I thought of when I saw that house inside the wall. Sorry, I digressed. Let's carry on with what's in the hole in the wall. And this is the other side of the wall. And again, there's different brickwork, stonework, all mixed together. And I wonder what age that window is. I suppose you could find it with a bit of wood. Test it. And I think this is strange. This is bars, but they're made of wood. So I don't know what that's for. It's not for prisoners anyway. So this is tucked inside the hole in the wall. And there's this large chimney. So like I say, they just keep changing things, and additions, and repurposing things, and but that house inside here, that's unbelievable. So how far back do you think that goes? And then you go up the stairs as well. And this takes you up on top of the Elizabethan wall. So it's a mismatch of everything. Right, so let's go to the bridge. Right, so the hole in the wall's here, and we'll now go up to the old bridge. How many times have you went on tour on Google Earth and thought, I'd like to check that out? Well, I'd like to check that out, and I'd like to check that out. And that's what I did when I went to Berwick. Well, and the hole in the walls in here, and we'll check that out later. But first we'll go around here. I was talking to a guy who worked for the water board one day, and I asked him if he had been in any of the tunnels in the town, and he said aye. He said years ago. And I said to him, well, how deep was it? He said, oh, at least 5 floors below the street. So we're talking like 50 feet. I said, what's the backstory? He said, it's a well built tunnel. He says, and they tell you that it was used by pirates. And I says, I'm not buying that. I says, pirates will find somewhere to stash their stuff. I says, but I don't see them going 50 feet below the town and building some kind of ornate tunnel system. He says, I quite agree with you. So, you'll see there's lots of people here that try to age the buildings, they're trying to age their house to make it look older than what it really is. As if they're competing with the older stone. So I don't know what's in here. And you can see they've got doors here, they've put them on the street level. You don't see that a lot. And like I was saying, this is the older stuff. And I'll show you later. People are trying to copy it. I'll show you. Right. So these are doors on street level. Yeah, there's positive proof it's basement levels below that house. You can see across the road again, on the corner. There's basement here, and here. And let's not get knocked down. And we'll take a look at this as well. So this is definitely in mud. There's no two questions about that. So how deep is it here? I know we're finding it 20 feet deep in other places, but I've no idea. Plus the history's all bullshit. Right, the next place, right, I'm going up this street here. I'll show you them that. This street here, it's a very steep hill. We'll check that out next. Right, called West Street. I had an old photograph but I lost it. But you can definitely see this is definitely mud. There's no two ways about that. And up the hill, when you go up this hill, turn right and 100 yards and you're at the town hall. And the town hall is pretty much at the bottom of the hill. So every hill in the town's like this. So I don't know how deep these houses go. How far down. How many floors could you find if you just went through all the floors in these houses? Looks can be deceiving. So these are, as you can see, 2-storey buildings. And then we've got this larger house at the end, right? Well, this is the larger house and it is definitely in mud. And it's got this usual moat with the windows, right? And this is that same building. But this here is the rear of these small 2-storey houses. So it must be like Doctor Who's TARDIS and you walk in a small house and it's actually a large house. And this is down at the bottom of the hill from where we lived. And this was across the road from the restaurant we used. So I wonder how many times these roofs and chimneys have been changed over the years. Because they're definitely old buildings. How long, how old, I don't know. And plaster, like a coat of paint, covers a multitude of sins. Right. So there is a few churches in Berwick. And that was the lily pond that we found earlier. I found that unusual. I couldn't work it out. Why would you put a design on a gable end of a building? Right, this is what I was talking about. People try to age the property, try to make it look like it's older than it really is. Well, it's not working for me. You know, I don't wear these pictures up at a car boot sale or something, but you don't fit with the rest of the house. And I think that one looks pretty new. Maybe that's just a new mould. Right, so this here is the White Horse, and that's got to be one of the smallest pubs I've ever seen in my life. Unless it's like everything else in this town, it goes way back to here or something, because you can't tell. And again with the different chimneys and roofs and brickwork and stonework and everything else. I have no idea what that represents, but it's on the side of the building, so it must mean something to somebody. Right, that's it up there. I let you go in some of these wee places because they don't let you. Right. And this is the bear that represents Berwick. Normally it's got a chain on its neck, chained to a tree or something, but this one's got nothing. There's your railway bridge, and on the red brick, under the arches in the railway bridge. How'd that work then? That mean you need to put up a wooden support, then build the bricks onto the wooden support, and then once it's set, remove the wood from the framework. That's just my opinion. And there's the other side of the river. Right, and this is that house that's just next to the bridge. Right. What's this with the doors? Same here. What's that all about? What's that say? Clara Bed House. But that's like the one up in the hill we were living next door to it. What's that? Right, so this is a pub on the main road, and there's obviously a bricked up doorway. And I think this pub at one time was a private residence. Right. And there's also this strange thing up the top. I don't know what that's for. No idea. Pigeons. Nah. Right, but what's that for? So they're saying birds nesting in it by putting a cage on it, putting wire across it. What was its purpose, do you think? Right, so as I say, I'm guessing this was a private residence way back in the day. And I'll show you at the bottom of this row of shops. You have this building here, is at the end of the block. Right, This is one end of the block and the pub is up at the other. So I think there's a pub up there. So I think this is probably all residences, and then as time went on, retail trade started. And this is, I think this is for Victoria, I think, I'm not sure. I really don't care. And this is, you can see this off the street. This is just next to the bridge. And again, there's holes in the walls everywhere. And different brickwork, different stonework, and fireplaces, and arches, and all sorts of stuff. Right. And this is the Good Templar Hall from 1847. Right. And this is the actual temple that we just looked at a while back. Right. So here in the Elizabethan map is the town hall. So there's always been a town hall there. So let's go and look at it. Right, so this is what you see nowadays. And some of these are more worn than others. Yeah, we'll try and get a look later. But what we'll do is we'll go down the side here and have a look down here, because although this is a big building, it's a big structure, it's actually empty. This is on the ground floor. So upstairs is rooms and stuff, but on it, and I discussed with the guide that there could be something below the floor, like basements, and he said, no, it's been concreted. This is actually everywhere else been concreted. And when you go inside, you can see what appears to be exterior looking masonry. And that window don't look right. There's another one up there, don't look right. Another one don't look right. So I think what we've got here is a big empty shell of a building, and they've just added some floors. They've even got a prison. And the prison is upstairs. So there's no way you're going to tunnel out of there. Right, this is the main hall. It takes up the vast majority of the floor. And this is the front door we seen earlier. Right. And this is the rest of that room. And there's just, it takes up the vast majority of the floor space. Right. And then you go upstairs, and this is in like just a big plaster cast that's on a courtroom wall. And this is what I was saying about the bear earlier on. It had nothing on it. The bear is usually seen with a chain on it. And this should all be a furniture. These things are massive. They must weigh a ton. They're really, really impressive for windows, honestly. And there's, this is the cop, this is all the cop shop, this is all the old different hot helmets and stuff. And there's the bike. What the what was that for? And the courtroom. And a lot of these, I'll take a look up here in a minute. And this is apparently done by prisoners. That's on wood. Again, there's the bear again with a chain. And this is in one of the cells. And when the guide took us in here, I was looking out the window taking this picture. And I heard them behind me saying that when the Queen visited Berwick several years ago, it says He says, for some reason, she came into this cell, and I always wondered why. And I quietly said, because she should be in jail. Right, so you can picture this with cobblestones. Fit right in. Right. Again, the courtroom, and that's up the stairs, up that ladder. And what you're seeing here is like an iron grate, because, as I say, the prison was upstairs, so they pretty much made iron cages around the cells, and this is it up on the top of the cells. And that's not the prisoners, that's the staff that work there. But there is a kitchen for the prisoners, and some had their own kitchens. Right. Not really what that bullshit. So there's an old picture of the town hall. That's that front door. You don't see it very well, but the pillars are more damaged then than they are now. Or is it the other way about? Right. So this is the cells. And this is all the shackles. And that don't look comfy either. The size of the keys. This is the bed. It's all sunk in. Must be memory foam, wood. Shape of your body. And that's another bed. With a wooden pillow. Sometimes I think it's like Hollywood. Right, there's the key. Right. So like you say, some prisoners had fires in the room and stuff, in their cells, and these beds were just full of straw. And these are the bars that they're put in between the cells, and these are the bars that are put under the floor of the cells to match the bars that's on the roof of the cells. Right, so you're kind of held in with steel. And this is a carving of a boat done by a prisoner, apparently. Looks like a whale boat, I don't know. Right, this is a different one. And a lot of time in their hands. Right, let's see. So these don't look as worn. There's just something different to other pictures for the same period. And there's just the bewildered people that inherited this place. Oh, there's that hill. I never lost the picture. That's the hill I took you up after the mud. So that's it back in the day. Wait a minute. So that was then. This is now. Right. And that's a bed, apparently that's a bed, but this is the pillowcase, but pillows for everybody. And so you just, I don't know how many people are supposed to lie there. More carving. And there's some bell ringing. So the vast majority of cathedrals and churches now play music. They don't actually physically ring bells. But in Berwick, the town hall, they certainly do. And I'll let you hear a bit later. And this is Kath and Julie, and this is Michael, the guide, and we blew his mind. Because for 2 days we went, different groups went to visit him. And we quizzed him about all sorts. But he's very open-minded. But, good guy. Good laugh. Right, that was the town hall. And like I say, they use real bells in Berwick. And maybe back in the day, when you heard these bells, it was a signal to get the hell out of Dodge, because something was going wrong. This is Kathy's channel. Please subscribe. There will be a link in the description. Now, she's been working on a theory for a while now, as she does, and Wednesday's time she will complete the video and post it. Until then, I'd like to read out what she has to say about the direction her research has taken, and we would appreciate any feedback. Open quotes. I don't doubt that in the 1800s the steam tech machinery was being used, but that machinery came from the era when thermal wells were plentiful and steam was abundant. Once the well blew out and the mud had erupted, the wells were clogged and there was a long period without steam until sufficient alternative methods to produce steam, such as mining and burning coal, could be used to replace the previous method, and hence the machinery up and running again. And so the steam trains could run on coal, and the steam machinery could run on coal, etc. Having mined enough coal to get everything up and running, they then began to build power plants, and they took the turbines from the churches and cathedrals and placed them in the newer buildings. They couldn't risk using the churches and cathedrals for the original purpose because the wells were still unstable, so you wouldn't want any heat near those places, which is precisely why no heating, not even a chimney, was put into a church. Even though the wells had concrete poured over them to absorb the gases frequently built up below the churches, and we can see the result of this just by looking at how many spontaneous fires are listed for churches. In the end, churches catching fire have become such a common theme historically that we all began to wonder if it wasn't deliberate destruction of historic architecture. I don't think it was deliberate. I think the ground below them is simply unstable and couldn't be messed with without fear of disturbing the pockets of hot gas. And how would you stop people from digging the land? You put gravestones around the church in the perimeter. That shows us the extent of the unstable area. There is a clue in a nursery rhyme. Ding dong bell, pussy in the well. In the original version, the cat isn't rescued. The question is, why would the blockage of a well cause a bell to ring unless there is typically a bell above the wells? Thing is, cat is the word used in the first known version of the rhyme, and cat isn't the name of an animal. It actually means pressure release, hence cathode, cathartic, catheter, catalyst. A cat as an animal is named as such because it kills mice and rats, hence releasing the pressure of the build-up of vermin. The cat as well is the well's high pressure. It causes the bell to ring. And to top it all off, guess who wrote the rhyme? An organist who worked at Winchester Cathedral. Close quotes. Well, thanks for watching, and please comment.